Tired of picking up pesky scratches all over your watch? Protect your pride and joy with the Watch Protect company. You can choose on site from liquid skin or this protective film here. Easy to apply, invisible once fitted, totally removable and completely scratch resistant. Use the code on screen to get a discount. So protect your pride and joy at thewatchprotect.com.
Hello and welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Watch Talk. We are back talking watches on the channel, and today we are here to talk about a new purchase of mine in this little box here. Don't let this small packaging deceive you. What's in here is rather special, and I'm very excited to add this to my collection. Before we get going about that, we've got something new with Grail Watch Club, ladies and gentlemen. With Grail Watch Club, we are giving away for a few quid this Rolex 41mm
Starbucks Submariner.
It's unworn and it's 2021, so that can be won for a few quid over at grailwatchclub.com right now, and I'll be handing over the prize in person on YouTube Square in one of my cars. We've already had a load of winners to date. Our last winner won a Tudor Black Bay 58, and the winner before that won a Green Oyster Perpetual, and the winner before that, what did we launch with? A no date sub. And make sure you enter now to win this Rolex 41mm
Starbucks Submariner.
It's good news, that watch, very good news. So yeah, as of the point this video is being filmed, about half of the tickets have already been sold in the first few days. So this isn't live by the time you hit the website, because you might be watching this in a month's time. Then make sure you go and hit the website, because there will be something else. So if you miss it, there's a limited amount of tickets. If you miss it, it's gone. So get in the mix with that. And if you're really lucky, I'll leave a code on the screen whereby you can get a discount. Now, let's talk about my new piece, which is a Patek Philippe. You'll notice off the bat, the box looks like it came out of a cracker. That is because this is actually a vintage piece. This is what Patek Philippe's used to come in. This is the kind of box they actually used to arrive in before they start making boxes that take up people's entire residences. Back when this was around, it wasn't really the symbol that it is now. Yes, it was a luxury watch. Yes, if you saw someone with one, if you really knew your watches, you would know that, you know, it was a few grand, but it wasn't quite the thing that it is these days. You know, wearing a Patek these days is a real kind of, but back then, no one really cared. So they're a little bit more kind of under the radar, a little less kind of flamboyant. Anyway, here we go then. Welcome then to my Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5065A. Now, let's get her out then. And we'll go into the strap, and also straps plural, because we've got some more in the box here. Now, this is a very interesting piece. Don't just think, oh, it's a steel Aquanaut, I've seen one of these, because this is not the piece that is around now. It is not the 5167, which is available today. Well, it's not available at all, you can't get it anywhere, which is the 40mm dial. It is not that generation, and it's not the generation of my white gold piece, which I spoke about a little while ago, which is a 42mm dial. This, in actual fact, is a 38mm dial. Now, we'll go into a little bit of history of the Aquanaut. I won't bore on too much, but effectively the Aquanaut came out in 1997, I believe, with a 36mm variant. That was the 5060, and that was basically looked pretty much exactly the same, bar maybe some font differences on the dial and the date font, but it was a 36mm case, and it had a closed case back, so you could not see the movement in there. The movement was an automatic movement, but it was slightly different to the caliber that is in this particular piece. That then changed over the kind of following generations. I think there was another iteration of the 36mm piece with an open case back, at which point they then released the 5065A, which is this reference, which actually bumped the case size up from 36 to 38mm and introduced an open case back to it as well. And this really, to most collectors, is the Aquanaut that kicked things off. The size really brought it into the attention of pretty much everyone. You know, ladies could wear it and blokes could wear it, and in fact blokes still do. I mean, I wear it, it is a bloke's watch. And it was actually called the Jumbo at the time, so this watch was actually seen as quite big at the time. This, I believe, was produced around maybe 2000 to 2004 potentially, and there were actually different variants of this watch. The 5065A actually has a tritium dial, so the lume on the numbers is this material called tritium, which they don't use anymore in, I don't think many brands at all use tritium anymore. It's this kind of really nice like creamy color which actually ages. So collectible wise, Aquanauts with a tritium dial are really, really collectible. And this particular reference actually went through a couple of changes throughout its kind of product cycle before being phased out and replaced by the, I don't think it was directly replaced by the 5167 with the integrated bracelet. It was replaced by something else, an intermediary reference, I can't remember what it's called. But that means that there are variants of this watch that have hands and dial with tritium on them, and also dial in tritium and the hands in superluminova, which this particular watch is. This is a 2004 model, meaning that the hands are superluminova and the dial is still that tritium color. So there's a bit of a mismatch between the two. That actually dates it to being a transitional model. Now, of course, also they could be service hands as well, but as far as I can tell, I don't think this has actually had a service with Patek yet, which is quite chaotic. I need to go and send that in. So as with all Aquanauts then, you do get it on a rubber strap. The key difference with this one being that it's not actually integrated. So when I say that, it means the lugs, the end of the rubber strap is literally just a straight edge as opposed to really kind of getting in between the lugs and curving around the case. So it's a lot more of a simple strap, and you can see that actually on the spare straps I have here. It's literally just an oblong piece of rubber. Really cool, really nice vintage vibe to it. And the other really wicked thing about this watch, and you can see already, is the fact that these straps are actually readily available at Patek Philippe. If you go into a boutique and you say, oh, I've got a 5065A, I would like a strap, they actually have loads of these straps in stock, and they're about 200 quid, which is a lot of money for basically just a piece of ham, but they've got them in all colors. So I've actually got it on this light blue at the moment, which is a nice summery vibe, but you can get a green strap for it, and you can get this kind of really dark teal. There's almost a ruby star red, kind of pinky color for it. There's cream, there's all sorts. In fact, I think I've actually got one somewhere. I don't know where it is. There's a cream strap for it as well, which really matches the numerals on there as well. So it's really nice. You can mix those up, and it takes 3 seconds to replace the straps on these. Very, very nice. It's obviously unisex as well, so your missus can wear it as well. It's just a great, great watch. It's obviously water resistant as well. And overall, it's a very, very rare piece now. You don't see people batting around in these all that often. It's very under the radar, and it's actually a lovely size. It fits really, really comfortably. I'm actually going to put it on whilst I'm talking to you. And if you've spotted this, we're going to do a video on this one pretty soon as well, so stay tuned. We're filming one of those today. But it's very comfortable, it's very lightweight. The new ones, dare I say, are a little bit bulkier, and particularly the white gold variant that I've got, the kind of khaki green one, it's huge compared to this. But this is just so comfortable. It almost feels like you're not wearing it. It's just a nice piece on the wrist. And yeah, the size of it as well, I need to actually chop that rubber a little bit more. It's a bit big, but it just fits so nice. It's great news, and it's not flashy at all. If you know, you know. If you don't, then you probably won't suss what that is. Really cool. Values-wise then, these on the market these days, which when you compare it to the modern variant, the 5167, and they're still making them. These are obviously discontinued. Back when these were being made, they weren't being churned. They weren't being churned like kind of modern watches are. These were very, very low numbers. I don't know the exact numbers that were made, but a lot of them have obviously been destroyed and whatnot by now. So these are rare pieces, and to collectors, I think this is the reference that is going to be the one that people go most mental over. I think it's really, really good news. And if you can find one of these in good, sort of relatively unpolished condition, you know, you want nice sharp edges and just look out for over polishing, I think you'll be in with a good shout of making some money on it. Interestingly, Patek will not do archive papers anymore. They have stopped that for watches predating 1970 something. So if you get a watch without papers, you can't just go into a boutique now and get archive papers, which you used to be able to do. I bought this box, no papers actually, for, well, sub 30 actually. I paid 28,000 for it. But I actually went into the boutique to get some straps the other day, and I asked for archive papers, and they said they don't do them anymore. But what you can do is you can get it serviced. So what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to get it serviced, water tested, and all that jazz, and then it's kind of safe for holidays and swimming and whatnot. And also, obviously, at that point, when it's been serviced, they put the serial numbers on the service papers, and you've got, obviously, a stamp of authenticity at that point as well. So, no archive papers, but service papers are absolutely fine. And in the London boutique, if you don't need to do anything that It doesn't involve kind of replacing the case or anything like that, just standard polishing, standard servicing, water testing, replacement of hands, date window issue, something like that, then they'll do that in the boutique. They've actually got a little service centre underground in the new Bond Street boutique at Patek Philippe. So really cool. I'm going to bring that in there pretty soon-ish to do that. But overall, I'm very, very happy and I absolutely love it. So that is my Aquanaut. And I think they're good news. I think they're very good news. If you've got massive wrists, they're not going to be great news for you because it's going to probably look like a little P on a piece of string around your wrist. But for me, I've got fairly slim wrists. I've called them girly wrists before, but someone told me off for that. So I've got very slim wrists. So there we go. I've got that on there as well. Very happy with it. I think that concludes my chat about my Aquanaut. Very happy with that. That joins the collection. And yes, we will see how that goes. I will update you if I ever sell it. That's that. But we'll be talking about this piece here very shortly. It's probably not exactly what you think it is, so we will get into this. I'm going to film that episode now as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. If you want to win a 41mm Rolex
Starbucks Submariner,
and you want to meet me and get it handed over on YouTube Square in one of my silly cars, then you know what to do. GrowAWatchClub.com. Go and enter right now for a few quid. And you'll also be sporting Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation as well, and the amazing work that they do. So there's a charitable element of that as well. So good luck with that. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. And if you've spotted this, there is a video already of that on the channel whereby I went to the IWC boutique in my SLS and collected this watch. It's a very interesting watch actually, and I'm a huge fan of that. And actually, I'm not just into small watches, because if you look at the size difference between those two, I think that is an absolute farce. Absolute farce. The size difference between the two of those. Irrelevant. That's that. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, blah, 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 and I'll see you all very soon. Ciao.